Okay, recording has started. So we just got through release planning, and got the 4.0 release out the door.
Yay.
Yay! Thanks to everybody for heroic effort. It's the best release of Cord yet by a mile, um, and cleared quite a bit more sophisticated testing than anything else had before. So that's all positive. Everything's going in a positive direction. So I'm going to come back to planning for the next release in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to deal with a couple other issues first. Um, One, we had a proposal from 99 Cloud that has been circulating. We're still in the process of setting up some meetings with them, and I'm hoping that we were going to do it this week, but there's China-wide holidays going on, so there's no one there to attend. But hopefully next week we will do an afternoon TST call and get the 99 Cloud folks and perhaps others on. But I thought that there was enough positive support for that proposal that we could go ahead and officially accept it as a collaboration proposal. Um,
Yeah, if the meeting is more a matter of how to move forward versus if, I think we could go ahead and accept it.
so I'm thinking out to myself here, how many TST members do we have? We've got Andy, myself, and Mateo. Am I missing someone? I don't know that we technically have a quorum. And I can't remember if we got enough real votes on that. Yeah, so I don't know that we can do anything official on that, David.
Right. But the plan is to schedule, I just don't want to push it too much longer. The plan is to meet with them next week.
Yeah, so I know Gopi's going to talk with them. I forget if it was Monday or Tuesday.
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 I think they're back on Tuesday.
Okay, great. Well, they're out this week anyway, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're out this week. The earliest they could meet was on Tuesday morning their time. So I'll meet them my Monday night.
Okay, and then we will try to get them turned around, and hopefully they can attend for them Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon for us, the TST call. And
it would be the previous day. So if it is Wednesday morning for them, it would be Tuesday evening for us.
right, and so we will do our TST call Tuesday evening / afternoon.
Yeah.
And so that'll be the next day from when you talk to them. Yeah, so I don't know that there's anything more that we can do there. What was that?
I'm sorry. I just want to say, if anyone is interested in joining me for the call, they're welcome. The plan is to understand what it is that they were hoping to get done, what sorts of resources they can dedicate and for how long, and see if there is an intersection between what we see as priorities and what they see as priorities. That was my plan. Anyone who's interested is welcome to join. So I plan to meet them at 9 a.m. Beijing time. I think that's 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Is that today, Gopi?
No, that's next week.
Okay. Can you send the details?
Yeah, I'll do that. So we meet Monday evening our time. So I'll send you the details.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. So next item, and I will try to either get proxy votes or make sure we have a quorum so we can finish this next week. Next topic is Cord Bill. David?
Yeah, before I do that, I did want to just make sure we keep the acknowledgments going. And we dropped for a minute. I'm sorry. If you had already done the acknowledgments, we could skip over it. But if not, why don't we just take a pause real quick? I'm looking on the wiki page to see if anybody's added anything there. I don't see anything there, so just to open it up. Is there anybody that would like to acknowledge somebody that you've done work with over the last couple of weeks that you'd like to give some recognition to?
Well, I will add something for Yen's help and steady hand in all of the planning activity that took place last week. It was all very helpful and kept us on course, and great notes, which I'll get to in a minute. So I will add that.
Great, thanks. Any other acknowledgements? Okay, if not, just a reminder, there is the wiki page on the Cord Wiki. If you do think about it, add some notes there about great work that you see people doing in the community. And with that, let me talk about Cord Build briefly. So just as a reminder, we're almost exactly 1 month away from the event. And a lot has come together. So if you're curious about it, you can go to cordbuild.org. The schedule is almost completely in place now. You can take a look. There's a few little tweaks we could do, but it's coming together really nicely. There's a lot of content there. A lot of hands-on tutorials, a lot of tracks, a lot of really great content. So I think everybody who's interested in Cord will want to be there. So please do register. We're about 130 registrants right now. I expect, just from the pattern of Ono's build, there'll be a lot of last-minute registrants, but we're going to have to cap it at some point. So I would register sooner rather than later if you haven't. And then also just 2 asks for this group. One is around different participation types. We have had very few demo submissions so far. So if you know of people, if you either want to do a demo or know of people who might do a demo, please encourage them to do that. Because a large part of the event is demos. So for example, if there were the MWC demos that maybe could be repeated, or an eCord or whatever demo that you know of, please think of people and encourage them. You can either send the details about a demo to me directly, just David at opennetworking.org, or there is a form on the website where you can submit demo proposals. So please do that. That's kind of the one missing link. So far, the rest of the content has come together really well, but we do need demos. So please, the ask for everybody on this call is to think what demo either you or somebody that you work with and you're a part of the community could do. So please do that. And then the other ask is specifically for TST members. Part of the agenda is the TST panel. Just please confirm with me that you'll be at the event or not, so I can figure out logistics, how many chairs and other stuff we need. So just send me a note if you will be there and can participate in the TST panel. And that's it.
Thanks, David. Yeah, just a second, there's going to be some pretty good content and a lot more depth for developers, especially than we've had at other events. I know on the platform team where I'm paying the most attention is we have on the order of 6 drill down with demos and working code and a hands-on. So that's coming together across the entirety of Cord. I think it's a great chance to recruit new people in the community, and both just platform developers, solution developers, and hopefully we will make some progress on getting people to bring their services and VNFs to Cord as well. But that's going to take specific attention, I think.
Oh, and that reminded me, on that note of recruiting, I would say if you're a part of an existing brigade, we're going to do a brigade showcase, and that's going to be in front of the whole audience. That's going to be a great time to ask those people to get involved in what you're doing. And then if you're thinking of a new brigade, that's going to be a good opportunity to launch one. We could do the same thing. If there's a new brigade we want to start, let's announce it in front of the audience and invite people in. So reach out to me if you're either part of an existing brigade and you want to be part of that showcase, or if there's a new brigade you want to launch there.
Okay, thanks. Anything else on the build? Anybody? All right, so as I mentioned, everyone has seen the announcement. We're moving on. We're now to 4.0. One consequence of that to take note of is that we now, not that we've ever done a particularly good job, but we will now stop supporting 2.0, although we will continue to support 3.0. So just making note of that. I don't know that it really changes our practices all that much, but it is our plan. On the 3.0 to 4.0 transition, I think one of the biggest things that's going to be confusing to people, and I'm just going to raise it so that Everyone is, I think everyone on the call is aware, but can I get, oh, there it is. I'm going to start showing my screen, hopefully. Are folks able to see my screen now? Let me see if I jump to, I'm not seeing what everyone would be seeing. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm just at the wiki, and as I think most everyone knows, the wiki is still active. Everything that's community related is going to be on the wiki. So in particular, there's been some reorganization here. If you are involved in one of the projects, then activity is still recorded here. But as soon as it's part of the software, then we've now got a pretty substantial guide. And if you have not looked through it, I would recommend that you do, even if you think you're familiar with Cord, just because going forward, we will be insisting that documentation get added to the guide. This is all based on .md files in the source code, and as we go from release to release, the guide will track that. So, for example, you can see master and stable here. If you go to 3.0 or anything previous, it's just going to send you back to the wiki, because that's where we were documenting things before. And in particular, let me just draw attention to everybody working on different services. We now are trying to beef up what gets recorded for particular services. And so our Cord profile is most expansive. So it's basically a record of what the official services are, what models have been added to support those services or that service profile, and if there are any GUI extensions. We'll be adding material there, but just specifically for eCord and mCord, which I know is happening now, we will try to record profile-specific information here. And over time, we actually want to reorganize the source code a little bit so the profile in platform install-related aspects of the profile are isolated as well, but that isn't quite there yet. I guess I should shout out here, Zach and Luca in particular, and Mateo contributed a ton of new material and did a great job bringing this together. So thanks to all of you and everyone else who contributed to the documentation. Okay, that brings me to anything else on the documentation? Right, that brings me to planning. And all I'm showing right here, and I will get all of this out. These are Jens' notes from the planning. There was a retrospective. We talked about. Let me just draw attention to what we think we can improve. We're gonna put more effort into swarming, and we do have some swarm set up right now. We're going to pay a lot more attention to trying to prioritize features and then pull those features off in prioritized order, as opposed to doing, in parallel tracks of component development. That hopefully will also get us closer to the position where we can, if we choose to, cut releases on a feature-by-feature basis if we want to. The definition of done, we're trying to raise the bar. That includes unit tests and documentation. Yeah, there's a lot more detail. I'll just forward out this information after we're done here, but I think those were the highlights. Anyone else want to comment on the highlights just in terms of what we're going to try to do different and better going forward? Okay. With respect to schedule, we're pretty cramped given Cord build and given the holidays and given that we're already 2 weeks into what would be the next release. We have plans for an interim release, which we're calling 4.1, which will include eCord and mCord profiles. And the target for that is December 1st. And so you can see the sprint schedule. We're in sprint 1 now, takes us to late October. We have 2 weeks before the build, then we have a week of Cord build, followed by another sprint afterwards, and then Thanksgiving, and that basically takes us up to the 4.1 release on what we're targeting is December 1st. All right, I guess the other thing to note is that we have, not only do we do releases, but all the people involved are working on preparing for demos at BBWF and preparing for Cord build. And so we are setting aside time to make sure that gets done. And again, the biggest technical activity is to migrate the use cases, in particular mCord and eCord, from 3.0 to 4.0, and that will constitute then the 4.1 release. As to what happens after 4.1, which again, because of the holidays, there's not a ton of time, but we will revisit and do second half of release planning after 4.1. My hunch is that Cord, which is probably not going to make it into 4.1 unless some heroic things happen, would be a high priority. And I think at that point we also, well, I'm not sure what else will be there. All right, I think those are the highlights. There's more detail. Again, these are multiple emails with some summaries. I will get this out, and I will, by the way, also get at least an executive summary of this on the wiki for people to, as a plan of record on the wiki. Let me think of what else is in here that we need to draw attention to. Yan, what am I forgetting?
Not much, just the basics. I think the main thing is highlighting kind of our priority, right? So we've got BBWF, we've got Cord build that we want to make sure we focus on, the migration work, any changes to support kind of other geography access to the build system and Cord. And then finally, we want to make sure we shore up the test framework in terms of harnesses. So those are really the priorities we're executing to. So as we go through kind of the sprint plannings, you'll see that that's kind of the set of epics and priorities we're working off of. So that's the main thing. And then the sprint schedule, right? The 3 sprints that we're working towards, with Cord build being the end of the second sprint.
Right. And again, just to make sure everyone is aware, we have 3, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 3 swarms, which are cross-cutting groups of teams working on the 2 main migration deliverables, eCord and mCord, and another one that includes, if I'm reading this right, Mateo, Scott, and Sapin, that will be working on a testing framework, which was also a priority to capture all the unit tests. But the interesting thing about these swarms is we've got people from the eCord team, oops, Max as well, people from the eCord team, people from the platform team, and people from QA involved in all of these. And the same thing I could have done with mCord as well. So we're hoping that is a success, and this is a great opportunity to give that a try and hopefully make that a pattern going forward.
The question I have is, do you want to send out the notes, or do you want just a quick boiled up version in a slide set? I could probably do that pretty quickly.
Oh, if you could do that, that would be great. Let's do that. Because I was going to.
It'll be focused on 4.1.
I'm sorry?
It'll be focused on 4.1. I think for 5.0, we're going to have to regroup.
That's right. It would be focused definitely on 4.1. Okay, are there any other comments on that, input, feedback? All right, if that's the case, I don't have anything else. Again, I will augment the schedule, and we're gonna try an afternoon call next Tuesday, and then likely alternate weeks unless there's some reason not to do that. All right, thanks everybody. You get half an hour back.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.